Hey guys, this video is going to be a really candid conversation about what festival season or lack thereof is going to look like for the second half of 2020. What's up, you guys? Welcome to the video. If you are new here, my name is Kapotes. I am a content creator in the EDM and music festival community. My channel is focused on helping people prepare for music festivals. I also do a ton of videos for ravers. I do makeup tutorials, rave fashion, and sometimes some health and fitness. So if you're new here, I would absolutely love it if you would consider subscribing and hitting the post notifications bell down below so you're notified every single time that I upload. You can also follow along with me on social media at Kapotes on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and at Hey There Emma on Snapchat. So now that all of that is out of the way, I didn't have this video planned. I actually just got the news that Lost Lands and Base Canyon were canceled for this year, and I was like, you know what? That's the last straw. I'm gonna sit down and finally just talk about how I'm feeling about music festivals being canceled, what I think the second half of the year is going to look like, and in general, my thoughts and feelings on this entire situation as a festival content creator. I just want to throw this quick disclaimer out there. Obviously, this is my humble opinion on the matter. I don't think anyone knows what they're doing, and I think the officials are making the best decisions they can with the information that they have, but we all know how rapidly this is changing. What happened 2 months ago is completely different from what's happening now, and honestly, who knows what everything's gonna look like in the fall, but these are our best guesses at this point. At the very end of this video, I am going to give my opinion on EDC Las Vegas because that's like the #1 question right now, and I started my channel because of EDC Las Vegas, and I know a lot of you guys have found me through my content, so stick around for the end of the video. I will be addressing it. Okay, so let's get into it and spill some tea. So this all kicked off in March when Ultra ended up being the first major music festival in the United States that was canceled. I was planning to attend. I had booked a trip to go to Miami Music Week and attend the festival for the first time since 2017. Was absolutely shocked and devastated like everybody was, and then from there it was just a downward spiral, and it was event after event being canceled. And at first I think we all just thought maybe it would be a few things and this would blow over, and now obviously 6 months into the year, which is crazy. How has 6 months gone by? I have no idea. And now we're all sitting here like, is anything actually gonna happen? Because there still are a lot of major music festivals on the calendar for the fall. So my first thought off the bat when this was all going on, I thought there was no way in hell. I don't think we're gonna get any event this year. I think this is gonna totally wipe the board. I just don't think anything can happen. And then of course we started to see drive-in raves, which I think is absolutely incredible. And I'm curious if any of you guys have attended them yet. Please let me know your experiences down below. And then of course we got virtual festivals, but other things have popped up that I did not expect to happen. I think we're gonna still see more of those in the future, especially if these few that are happening now do well. I'm sure we'll see them in more states in the fall. What did change my mind, because I wasn't expecting it, is how different things are from state to state. So now my opinion is it depends on the state that the festival is scheduled to happen in, because things like an Imagine Music Festival, which is a little bit of a smaller event in Georgia, could potentially squeeze by, or maybe something in Florida. That was my thinking a couple of weeks ago, but now we are seeing rates rise in states like Arizona, Texas, and Florida, which are major players in the music festival game. A ton of festivals take place in those states. Notably still on the calendar, Ubbi Dubbi times Freaky Deaky, EDC Orlando, and Sunset Music Festival, just to name a few. I think it's gonna be up to the state. It depends on the rules they have in place. A lot of states now are saying if you come here, you might have to do a 2-week quarantine, so that might affect people's ability to travel. Some of these festivals are international festivals, so you have people normally flying in from Europe, Australia, other places in the world, and that's probably not as likely to happen either. And I know a lot of people are holding out hope for EDC Orlando. It's still a little bit in the back of my mind, but if I'm realistic, I still am of the mentality that no events are gonna happen this year unless they are very small local events. Just from attending events and having friends who work for music festivals or have freelance for them. A lot of what I'm hearing is that it's obviously safer for the company to cancel the event this year rather than risk having it and just start the planning and preparation for the following year, especially because a lot of these events had to postpone for the fall and now are going back and canceling. So I think some are just avoiding that entire process and just saying, you know what, we're gonna scrap it this year. Everyone's health is obviously way more important and we're just gonna try this again next year when we're in the clear. I think that's the safest way to go about it because again, there are so many unknowns here, and then a lot of these companies are saying we just wouldn't be able to produce the event as we normally would and we want you to get the full experience. So we'd rather try again next year. And of course, who wants that liability? Who wants to bring together tens of thousands of people in one place, risk having an outbreak of the virus, and then those people fly home? It just is a liability no one wants to deal with, and obviously that's worst case scenario. So I think a lot of these companies are taking the safer route, which I personally agree with. The only other thing I'm potentially thinking about, because you have some events like Dirty Bird Campin' that are still scheduled to happen, and I believe that's in December. They're rolling out these new health guidelines of how they're planning to handle the event, and I believe they're doing a lower capacity event. So that's the only thing that I could see events getting away with, is if they say we're doing 25% capacity of what the festival normally is. And the biggest question right now is it worth it? Is it worth risking your health? Is it worth having something happen? Is it gonna be the same experience you expected it to be? Because that's another question I have. One of the major reasons I go to music festivals is to have these shared experiences with other people, to interact. We do meetups, we hug, we trade candy, and if you're eliminating that, if you're saying we're gonna have to still social distance, masks are mandatory, it's gonna be a lower capacity, you might not be able to interact as much, I don't know, like, I'm just putting that question out there. Does that change the experience overall for you? Or do you not care and you just wanna go somewhere and listen to great music? That's up for debate. Comment below. Okay, quickly, I just want to talk about EDC Las Vegas. Again, this is my humble opinion, you guys. You can agree to disagree, that's totally fine. I don't think it's gonna happen, as bluntly as I can say it. It is the biggest EDM festival in the United States, arguably in the world. People fly in from all over for it, and I think throughout the weekend there's over 400,000 people collectively. Don't really know how they're gonna do that. Don't know how that's gonna be possible in just a couple short months. What I do think though is Pasquale and the Insomniac team are incredible. They think about their headliners, and their health and safety is of the utmost importance. What they did with Beyond is they announced it exactly a month before the event took place, so I don't think we're gonna hear a decision on EDC Las Vegas until the beginning of September, because EDC is supposed to be October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, I believe. So I don't think we're gonna hear anything until early September, that's my opinion. It's also a very tight turnaround time between October and May. Like, to me, I think they should just kill the event this year and plan for the event in May, which I believe, was it the 25th anniversary, I think, next year. It's devastating to me. I obviously want to attend next year. I had already not bought a ticket this year and was gonna take a break because I've gone the last 5 years, and then look what happens. But I feel like it's gonna be impossible to get tickets, and it's gonna absolutely suck. But the people who did buy tickets this year should have the ability to carry them over if it is in fact canceled. Quickly, just want to touch on what I think we'll see as far as changes, because again, if I'm wrong, which I very well could be, if a couple things squeeze by, maybe some lower capacity events, maybe some more local shows. I already know some nightclubs were open, so some people in other states outside of New Jersey, which is where I'm currently at, have less strict rules. So a couple places opened, and now we're effectively seeing some bars close. So it's probably just going to go back and forth until we figure this thing out. I think we're going to see face masks being mandatory, potentially temperature checks, but I'm still not even sure how that's going to happen. Social distancing, I think we'll see markers on the floor where, like, you're on a bathroom line or something where you have to stand a certain amount apart. I think more outdoor venues, of course. Currently in New Jersey, you're allowed to have more people gathered outside than inside. So again, if you're in a larger venue and you can space out, why not go listen to some music? And of course, more drive-in festivals. I think that's like kind of the only option now at this point besides watching things on live streams. Okay, and lastly for this video, if any of you care, I just wanted to talk a little bit about where I'm at, like, personally and mentally with this situation, because I know some of you guys might have been watching my channel for a really long time and you know how much I love the music festival community. Like, it's obviously my entire life. I love EDM. I've dedicated so much of my time and energy to creating content around this community. And I would say in the beginning, I was in like complete and utter denial about everything. Like it took me a solid 2 months to realize like this was actually really happening and we were potentially not going to have any festivals. I feel like now I'm so emotionally detached from it because I've kind of like written off this year, which that's just how I'm choosing to cope with it. We all have our different coping mechanisms. I can't even tell you how much I had planned. I'm sure all of you feel the exact same way. This situation has totally rocked our worlds, but I had a very aggressive festival schedule this year. I had so much I wanted to go do. I had opportunities I was working on behind the scenes and really exciting life changes I was planning on making that completely changed, and I had to deal with having a bit of an identity crisis because obviously with festivals being gone for so long, I started to think, are people gonna lose interest in music festivals? Is the rave community bubble finally bursting? And then in turn, nobody would want to watch my content because I'm a festival content creator. Like all of those thoughts happened. Like I'm sure we all had thoughts about the life changes that were happening to us. But that's the thing, they're not happening to you, they're happening for you. And that's the mindset I've really been getting in. I finally like really been working on myself the last 3 months and have found like an inner peace and inner calm and have just like accepted the situation for what it is because so many other opportunities have happened. I'm currently looking to buy a house with my fiance. We got engaged throughout this time, which was crazy. And I firmly believe we would not be able to be buying a house at this point in our lives if festivals were happening. I was spending so much money on events. I was traveling all of the time. Life was just like go, go, go. And this has forced us to slow down. So in some ways, this situation has worked out the way it should have, and it's kind of like forced me to readjust my life. I just want to clearly say this channel is going to continue to be about the EDM community because it's what I love, and I have seen everybody step up so much in the past few months between the live stream events, raising donations for different causes and charities, the drive-in raves, the Facebook groups I'm in. Like everybody has really come together. The EDM TikToks I've been watching, like it's just amazing. It just proved to me it's always been about music and it will always be about music for us. So as long as we have that, then we will be just fine. And I am focused on creating content in whatever form for this community because we gotta keep the rave alive. We gotta keep this thing going. And I just know that first festival back is gonna hit so different. I'm gonna be sobbing like a baby. And it's just gonna be the most incredible thing ever to see you guys and to hear live music again in person. It's just gonna be the absolute best. So like good things do come to those who wait. And I'm hopeful that we'll have things maybe next spring. My guess is like next summer for sure. But I'm kind of thinking EDC Las Vegas in May is going to be the kickoff point for festival season, but we'll see. Maybe something will happen sooner than that. Whew. So those are my thoughts and opinions on literally everything. I just wanted to do one video addressing it all because I haven't done one since March when this first happened. So that's how I'm feeling. Again, I am trying to be hopeful and optimistic about this community in general, whether or not we have events this year. I would love to open up the comments down below. I want to know your thoughts and opinions on this. Do you think we'll have events this year? How are you feeling about the community in general? Are you over everything at this point, or are you sticking it out? Are you in this for life? Please comment down below. And if you guys are new here, I would absolutely love it if you'd hit the subscribe button and come join the family. I host a weekly podcast every Wednesday called Rave Culture Cast if you want even more of your fill of the EDM and festival community. It's available on all major streaming platforms and it's here on my YouTube channel. You can follow along with me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Emma Kapotes and at Hey There Emma on Snapchat. And I think that's all I have for you guys. Stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.